Alright, we're here. Same day, about like 2 or 3 minutes later. Yes, 2 or 3 minutes later. I told you guys, actually I don't know if I did tell you guys the whole process with this. Hey guys, EndoPlasmite here. We're back with another episode of Pokemon LeafGreen. Well, EndoPlasmite plays LeafGreen. A whole editing process that I wanted to explain is almost no editing thing with this, because again, we're trying to treat this as if it's the beginning of a brand new channel, and treating this kind of as laid back as we want to be with it starting off. Why? Why not? No, like, seriously, why not? This isn't being done for a career. This is being done specifically as a hobby for the fact that I haven't really had the chance to actually properly create a Pokemon-based channel, or at least have content that's isolated in one specific spot. As I had said for the last episode, the whole process for what's going on is all taking place the same night. This episode, the previous episode, and the upcoming episode. Keeping that in mind, it does mean that at the same time that I'm recording this, my rendering software is rendering out the previous video. Also, yes, I know there's probably other options for how I want to go about fighting the Nidoran. But see, the rate that things are going on this, it's going to be hard for me to find another Nidoran female. I say that, and I'll probably end up finding another Nidoran female very quickly. So, we'll cut to the chase on this. I'm just trying to keep things moving. Here we go. Not actually another one of the team. As I stated, first member joining the team won't be until we actually get past the second gym. But this was a Pokemon that I did actually use on my first attempt of ever playing Pokemon Blue. That wasn't something that was done on the channel, that was done as a hobby. Something that I usually end up doing during vacations is I bring my 3DS with me, or I bring my regular DS, and I play the older console games. So, be with me bringing Fire Red with me if I'm just bringing my DS, or in the case of the 3DS, I have all the older Pokemon games installed on it with the downloads that they had before eShop completely closed up. And yes, I did actually do that like a couple days before they closed up shop. Ooh. Not the direction I was going, but I will definitely take that still. Have to do that first, because it's going to use Sing. Nope. Wrong. Also was not a Pokemon that I used in this one, but it's a Pokemon that I actually used in a Let's Go Pikachu run. Another game that I did not play for the channel. For obvious reasons, I was late to the party and I just wanted to enjoy the game. I should be pretty easy for a reason. But anyways, can't remember actually what my first team was for Pokemon Blue. You know, now that I say that, it brings up a good point. I'm gonna throw this, I'm gonna be right back. Should be quick. There's one more Pokemon in the area that I'm missing. So the reason why I grabbed the book is the book that I specifically have is a little Pokeball stylized notebook. I'll probably take a picture and put it here. Oh great, I actually have to do more editing. But essentially what I've been doing with that notebook is the first time I go through and complete a game, or if it's a completion that holds some importance, such as, say, me doing the final team of choice that I want to do for this game, I'd write down the information in the book once I actually made it to the Hall of Fame, which also included things such as the Pokemon, the gender, the level, and the moves that it had. I think also, actually I don't know any further than that without cracking into it, so I might just crack it now. Just leave it like that if it can cooperate with me. So, interesting thing is I may actually end up changing one part of my team. I'm not 100% quite sure yet. The reason for that actually is because... So like I pointed out, when I want to play these as main run-throughs, I try to switch up the teams every time. And the thing is, when I try to pick Pokemon, I try to balance out the types so that there's no type that matches, which unfortunately isn't always the case considering the playthrough for it. And also try to make it so nothing matches from previous Let's Plays. The thing is, one of my choices would actually match from a previous Let's Play. So I don't know how picky I actually want to go with this. The thing is though, this Pokemon that I would be excluding by doing that is a Pokemon that I actually need on my list to complete like a regular... Remember those gaps that I showed in the Fire Red showing? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, just watch episode 0 for Pokemon Fire Red. Anyways, I digress. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and just bite the bullet and just use it. I just need to make sure whichever moves I use aren't really 100% clone copy of the previous moves. Maybe yes, maybe no. I don't know, Walter. I'm gonna give this 3 more tries. If the Pokemon that I'm trying to find does not appear, I will press on. Those who know this game know which one I'm trying to find. Those who don't know this game, I'm gonna leave you in suspense. Wouldn't it be funny if the next one ended up being a shiny? I'm saying that, and one of these days I'm going to do that, and people are going to claim that I hacked this game. It's not. Trust me, one of the downsides of the epilogue, which I think I might have mentioned either at the beginning of this Let's Play, or in the Fire Red Let's Play, which is probably the beginning of this one, actually. I don't think I said that in the Fire Red one. There is cheat codes for this, but the cheat codes are very broken. Like, they don't work broken. Not the broken of this overpowers my team broken, this is it's not working at all. Broken. So, Mount Moon. Everyone loves Mount Moon. Speaking of broken. Little fact about Zubat, for those who don't know the fact about Zubat. Zubat evolves into Golbat, and And then Golbat, in later games, evolves into Crobat. That starts out with the second generation onwards. However, there's a little trick that's kind of funny to realize with this game, both for Fire Red and LeafGreen. If you have a Zubat, you evolve into a Golbat, and you actually get Golbat's level, well, not level, friendship level high enough to the point that it should have evolved into a Crobat, guess what? It's not going to evolve into a Crobat, but it's going to indicate that it's trying to evolve into a Crobat. So, that's a fun little trick to try next time that you're playing this game. Try using a Golbat. Try being its friend. Almost jumped on water. Also, I can see how well this is gonna go. As soon as we both did those strikes, I'm like, that's not gonna work at all. All change. So I probably should have actually switched out to Metapod, but I got a better idea. You know, actually I don't like this idea. There's a reason why I say that, but it's not going to be explained until I get past the second gym. Toys to try to place, but is what it is what it is. It's pretty much a decent bet. Oh, it's supposed to be like that. That's like that. That's like that. Okay. Just double checking something. Don't mind me. Isn't there another TM that's over here? I think that's a TM. I could be wrong. Oh look, a Zubat. Also, I probably should switch out. Bring Ivysaur back to the lead. Bullet Seed, I was right. It was a TM. Oh look, Zubat. Where are your friends? Because if you're waiting for your friends to find you, maybe your friends are further inside this cave. Why don't you try to find them? Otherwise, they're going to explore this cave without you. Run into some trouble up ahead. I mean, what? I didn't say anything. Not you two. You know what a good countermeasure for this whole situation is? Having your starter be female. The odds of that happening are very low for starters. I think it's 90-10. It's either 90-10 or 75-25. Oh look, a Zubat. I think I know what to name this episode. You guys want to take a guess? Oh look, a Zubat. Alright. Here is the fun part that I did not realize until literally less than a year ago. Inside these 3 sections of the cave that we're stationed in right now, the part that you do know is that there are Paris that appears here. And Paris is the only Pokemon that does appear in this area. You have the chances with Paris and Parasect, both having the chance to either having a tiny shroom or a big shroom, both of which are needed much later in this game, as they are the means of actually being able to teach older moves to your Pokemon. Since we're in this area and trying to actually complete a good bit of the Pokedex with stuff with that, let's go ahead and actually catch this Paris. That fact is not the fact, however, that I did not realize. But I figured it's a good segue that leads to the whole situation about what I'm about to explain. And hopefully this works, otherwise I just look like an idiot. So, in this area as well, there is going to be repeat instances where certain items might be able to spawn in. And those certain items are the same set of items that one may assume. Tiny shrooms, big shrooms. There we go. Now, this resets depending on steps walked in the game. So there is a way to just repeatedly go through and try to collect big shrooms or tiny shrooms. Another method would be teaching a Pokemon Thief and going through the full process of just stealing a bunch from Paris. But this factor I kind of wish that I knew growing up. Of course, growing up, there was very little I understood about this game too. I'll explain what I mean about what I didn't understand about this game with this fight. So, what I didn't understand about fights going on is the nature regarding attack, defense, special attack, and special defense. I know that attack and defense were related. I know that special attack and special defense were related. And I also knew that moves were either special attack or attack. The thing that I didn't understand, though, was the variation between what makes it a special attack move and what makes it an attack move. Because, as an example, growing up, I thought this move was an attacking move. Because physically, you're hitting it with a whip. And funny enough, that's what happens in future games with Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum and everything going forward. That's not how this game works. It works based on the type. And I didn't know that because I didn't know that growing up. I played Pokemon games all the way from Fire Red, even to Pokemon XD, not realizing this fact. Until a couple years later. Yeah. So there's that. It's whatever though. Yes, you blew it. So, the part that I do know is in this area, Not only do you get the chance of Zubats again, you also have a chance of a Clefairy. Only on the 3rd floor, though. And you also do have the chance of running into Paris. So, I know that was going to happen one more time. Freedom. One word. Oh look, a Zubat. Don't worry, this bit will only run to the end of the episode. Welcome to the interesting trick going on with Magnemite and Magneton. The only 2 steel types from the 1st generation. Didn't used to be that way. Well, actually, scratch that. It did used to be that way in my day. Because in my day growing up, Fire Red was my first game, where it was a steel type. Good. And Voltorb. Please tell me you don't have Sonic Boom. Or, you know, I could miss, that's fine. Voltorb began charging power, and I sapped power. My special defense is already down. Now you're lowering my defense? Whack. Your Pokemon won't do what? What are your Pokemon won't do? Oh look, a Zubat. Here. Is that so? I didn't know that. Very clearly, I didn't know that. Yeah. I don't have much content to add at this point. Not on the basis of tiredness or boredom. I just don't know what to add. Now I got something to add. We can switch it out and start this crap again. You know, same old match. One uses Poison Sting, the other repeatedly uses Harden. Poison Sting eventually poisons Metapod. Metapod eventually uses Shed Skin. You know, it just keeps going on and on and on. See? You know, it's a vicious cycle. Must kill it. Remind me to kill a cycle. Speaking of remind me, you remember to actually set an alarm for tomorrow. again. Poison, and then poison's gone. Poison. Oh, just look at that. It actually took poison damage this time. Is it enough? It is enough. That's also enough too. If I get one more, I should be able to get it to the point where it can evolve. Oh look, Zubat. Now I could just go ahead and use the escape rope and get out of here. That kind of beats the purpose, doesn't it? Oh look, Zubat. I do have to go backwards to go forwards, though. Oh look, Zubat. I say that for going backwards and going forwards because of the fact that I do need to heal my team. Oh look, Zubat. But at the same time, I kind of want to get through this part of the cave. Oh look, Zubat. At the same time, I also want to get through this episode so I can get out of this bit. I could stop the bit. Oh look, the Zubat. But you know, what's the fun in that? Who knows, maybe I might get lucky. Might be a shiny one of these times. With the saving on that point, we can get to an eventual point where we'll cut this episode off. Oh look, Zubat. See, the fun part about this episode is we can't actually go through the process of editing this episode until the previous episode's finished rendering, which we can't quite do yet. Oh look, something that's not actually a Zubat. Can't go through the process fully of rendering out the video for this one until the first one gets finished rendering out, which we can't quite do yet because it's still in the process of rendering right now. While that's rendering, I get to play a fun game of while episode 2 renders out, episode 1 will get uploaded to YouTube for scheduling, and episode 3 will be recorded in the meanwhile. Fun little cycle, isn't it? Remind me once again to kill a cycle. There we go. So, at this stage of the game, that's where we're going to leave off this specific episode. Because we are actually hitting the 30-minute mark. So make sure you save your game. And next episode, we're going to proceed further into the caves, hopefully getting to the point of actually getting out of the caves. Don't worry, the Zubat bit is also done as well, so you guys don't have to worry about me turning around and saying, oh look, a Zubat, anymore. So, we will see you guys in the next episode. I also have to actually take care of myself a small bit before I do that. I'll explain what that means in the next episode.